you've had lots of response, and I read the comments, and as you know, and your ego doesn't need this, but your heart loves to know that you're loved.
Yeah, thank you. It drives as an inspiration. It does. It really does, and it puts the mind back in its place. That's what it really does.
Yeah, and so give Cynthia a big hug for me.
Yes, please.
Yeah, would love to. Gee, that's a tough ask.
And congratulations to you too, by the way.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, George. We could go on all night.
Oh yeah, we could.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was great. I hope that, I don't know, how was that for you, George?
Just delightful. It always is with you and Gary. It's just delightful. There's really no other word.
Yeah, humble me.
Gary, I do want to say that there are some nature spirits. I feel I need to share this with you. I'm being guided to share this with you. That as we have our 3D matrix energies, the synthetic reality that wants to hold on, unfortunately there are some nature beings that like the way their natural environment is set up. They enjoy it and they don't want it to change. So there are elements, for want of a better term, within the elemental kingdom that are having issues with the coming changes as well. So I know that you are connected to that world, and it may be something that you can share if you ever get to have a sitting with the elders in your communities, and just share, hey, you know, this. You might want to share it with them that the era of our natural environment needs to come to an end too. And it's hard for them to let go because the indigenous communities are far more connected to our natural environment than the other ways of life. And so their love for Mother Nature on this level, it runs very deep. And they're suffering as well. They will have problems coming to terms with the fact that this natural environment needs to morph and stop feeding off itself, off one another within the community, the elemental kingdom, and to begin to morph into a way of life that they can feed off energy.
Can I address that for a second? Because you mentioned this a little bit earlier when we were talking, and I have been very sensitive to this. What you're speaking to is that, you know, when I see, here's an example. I was on my back porch, and I love hawks. You know, which are
me
birds
too.
Prey But then I'm sitting here on my back porch one day. This is actually a couple of years ago. And I hear this bird tweeting, tweet, 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 and all of a sudden it like stopped mid-tweet. And I never saw the hawk before it, but I heard the bird stop mid-tweet, and I knew a hawk had just pounced it and killed it. And my heart went, oh. And I looked over, and sure enough, I saw the hawk take off. It was silent. It was, you know, on its prey. And you know, I knew everything. When that bird stopped mid-tweet, I knew that a hawk had just, you know, put it out. And so I think that's what you're saying, is that this predator mentality, which is innate in nature. I mean, it's not just humans. It's innate in nature, and that's what you're. I think that's what you're saying. That's the part that's going to morph. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah. This whole, even the physical environment, even the trees. If you were to see the battles that go under the soil between root systems, is incredible. There are evil trees out there. There are good trees out there.
Yeah, there are. I get that. I see.
You know, and so the whole natural environment has to go. The whole crust is going to go, and it will metamorphosize as well.
Yeah, because it's not just. I mean, it's not just humans. It's innate in nature, and we look at it as a circle of life. But that's always been difficult for me. That's been difficult for me in this lifetime. Seeing predators be predators. And I try to make peace with it. It's like it's just who they are, and it's just how it works. But what I'm hearing you say is that we're going to transcend that.
Yes. We're not just going to go back to nature with a more sophisticated level of technology, or to go back to nature as it currently is, and just be more
as
connected.
we see it currently, right?
Yeah. It can't. That's a completely. That has been. That was the natural environment that was created to suit our journey through these dark ages, through this era that we have been on for this cycle of 12,000 years especially.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the indigenous elders do see that already coming. Give you an example of my Uncle David. I have an uncle that's a medicine man with the Lakota tribe, and he has said that already about 2012. And the Lakota prophecies of the flash, and then the sky the day become brighter than day, and then there is a period of darkness, and then after that the water is clear, and the children are happy, and the tree of life is again filled with birds and singing. Filled with birds and fruit, singing birds and fruit. So. And ain't nothing nobody can do about it. That's what David always said.
Yeah, there ain't. There ain't. I mean,
I'm glad to know that, because, as much as I have not liked war, but when I observe nature, I'm pained by the war of nature too. It pains me just as much as the war of man.
It's symbiotic journey, and we needed that natural environment which was going to reflect us,
Okay, good.
and teach us and guide us.
Thank you.
And there's also the sense of sadness, Kimberley, that the love that we have for nature on this level. It hurts me. It hurts me to know that this is all going to go. I look around. I recently went to New Zealand for our honeymoon with Cynthia, and my goodness, what a beautiful country, and the beauty is incredible there. And wow, it's all got to go. It's just hard to imagine.
That's why it's so important that we don't that the attachments to things or let go. Yeah,
it includes nature. Yeah, and that's the struggle that because people are so attached to the synthetic way of life. We can imagine the depth and level of attachment that indigenous beings have to the natural environment. It's far deeper. So they've got a tough gig. They've got a tough journey of letting go coming up.
On one level, it's tough, but on another, they also are aware of the change that the Earth is going to be going through, and are thus able to roll with that change a little bit.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Very well said. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel that for today all has been said and shared, and I feel at peace, and I feel a deep sense of gratitude to both you, Kimberley, and to Gary for once again inviting me to be a part of your world and the opportunity to share my wisdom with our human family. Deep sense of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you. And we love you.
Yes.
And have a great day. It's my bedtime, and it's still morning for you, isn't it?
It's gone. No, it's 1 p.m. now.
Okay.
Well, enjoy the rest of your day, my friend.
And wait a minute, it's Thursday for you?
Yes, it is.
That's where we got mixed up.
Yeah, that's all right. No, not to worry.
It's like really hard when you're like 14 and a half hours apart or whatever.
Yeah, it's that half hour that throws you.
Yeah, that half hour.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably right. You said Wednesday, and I should have thought it was Thursday for me. So
whatever. Anyway, I love it. It's so much fun.
Thank you so much, George.
All right.